Word on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. Taylor want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. Put nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start, send me the house shake. Nigga sweeter than a pound case. Eyes on your chin, better watch what your mouth say. Deal with the footballs, got a nigga tripping. Fuck it, nigga keep sipping. AK with the beam on it. Clip sold on like a lean on it. My nigga like behind bars. Move 100 pounds for a nigga beat the charge. Check down in the play, watch a fuck. If a nigga try to rob, fucking hit him with them. Word on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. They don't want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. 100 bands on your head, get the job done. Throw it up, nigga, where you from? Whole hood hot, cause your nigga hitting licks. Ain't made a meal yet, but he still nigga rich. Stick on my, stick on my, stick on. How you want it, nigga? Full of the semi. Waiting for the cash, searching for the bag. Young nigga wildin', throwing up flag. Shooters on the roof with a scope. Money man gon' treat you like the Pope. Keep me in the post.
Hello. What is going on? Let me know if you guys can hear me. What is good? Not 35 people being here. So that means we got 35 comments already? Hello. Remember, when you come in here, hit that like button, leave that comment. Let me know what's going on. And what you think about getting your hair, you get your scalp grease. It's just like the best feeling in the world. We're gonna get into all that good stuff. But yeah, everybody with a grease scrap. A grease scalp, like hit that like button if you ever in your life got your scalp grease. It's been a minute. Like, it's something about like you greasing your own scalp and then somebody else doing it. It's just a whole different sensation. But how are you guys doing? Thank you so much for being here. Let me read some of these comments before we bring out the guests. I am so excited to talk about this show because I feel like it's divisive. I don't know who liked it, who felt like what, but we are really going to get into it. Hello, Teddy. Thank you so much for being here. Hello to you too. Tony T, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Let's see. Hello. After seeing your review of them, I now understand why we need films like The Little Mermaid remake and the first Black Panther, because we need more happiness and fun and not misery and pain. Oh, you went and dug for them because that's when Tyra was sitting on the bed. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see, pretty girl Danny. Hey, y'all, it's my birthday. Hey, happy birthday to you. Shout out to Danny. Thank you so much for being here and happy birthday. Thank you for being here. And shout out to you for that purchase of Funny Valentine yet again, because that video has just been really special to everybody in the comments, just to resonate with, all the good stuff that comes along with that film. So thank you so much for that purchase and happy birthday to you. Let's see. Hey, Breeze here. Hey, girl. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Let's see. I'm so glad that I've watched the show. Can't wait to discuss it. Got my wine ready. Oh, she got wine. I knew I was missing something. Happy birthday, Danny, all day long. Thank you guys so much for saying happy birthday to my girl. Let's see. Sounds on a 10. Girl, I got thoughts. Don't we all? We all got thoughts and then some. Let's see. I skipped the football night game for this. Oh, that's love. Thank you. Let's see. Taking me a little study break with y'all. All right. Don't be talking about you got a failing grade because you was over here with the struggle. Like, don't struggle just because I'm struggling. Make sure you do your stuff. Let's see. Hit that like button, everyone. Most definitely. Let's see. Did you read the book as well? No, I have not. I am hoping that everybody or anybody who's here who has a standing point with the book and you have read it from, cover to cover, please leave comments, because I would really love to know if this coincides with the book, if the book is better, or, vice versa. Please share those. No, I have not read the book. Let's see. What's with these Black horror focusing on Black women in hair? Oh, we're going to get into that. I have a whole slide for that. Let's see. Sulfur A grease and all. I was a Blue Magic girl myself. It was all Blue Magic and pink moisturizer, just smelling like an old woman. But we going to get ready to bring out these guests before we go, any further. But thank you so much. I see a lot of my day ones and all my good supporters in here. Hello, Sherry. Thank you so much. Let's see. I see Nicole in here. Like, thank y'all so much for being here. But yeah, we are about to get into it. I'm about to bring out my guests before we jump into the episode, just so you can get to know just a little bit more about them. And then we're going to get into all things grease and mind control. I really don't know. But first, I would love to bring out King Nikki. King Nikki, how are you doing? Welcome to the live.
What's up, beautiful people? Thank you, Tyra, for having me.
Of course, of course. Like, how are you feeling before I jump into just your channel? Just give me one word to describe how you feel about this show.
One word.
Just one.
Miserable.
Ooh, oh, wow. How you gonna come out the gate like swinging? She's swinging like right away. But welcome to the welcome to the live, Nikki. I'm gonna give you the camera for a second, just for you to tell the people what you do, where you do it, where they can find you, and just a little bit more about your platform before we bring out our second guest.
Well, everyone, I am Nikki. My channel is King Nikki TV, and I do reviews, recaps, commentary on movies, TV shows. Right now, I am following 3 TV shows: The Changeling, The Walking Dead spinoff Daryl Dixon, and Power Book 4:4. So if you're interested in those series, I also follow a ton of horror movies. I am a huge horror girl, but I pretty much give you a mix of everything on my channel: some comedy, some realness, just very into a lot of things. So if you're well versed in those things, then come on over and check out what I'm doing on King Nikki TV.
Thank you so much for that, Nikki. Like, thank you so much. Like, you have a very like eclectic group of shows and stuff that you're talking about. You like low key look like you're talking about everything. So of course,
very diverse.
Right. If you are interested in knowing more about what King Nikki does and how she does it, the link is in the chat right now. So you can go ahead and come back, as Craig would say. But go and, subscribe and check out her content. Now for my next guest, this is her very first time on the channel. I am very excited to have her here. And I thank her so much for reaching out. You guys, welcome to the stage, Kay Bly. And I hope I am saying that right. Hello, how are you doing? Am I saying that right?
You absolutely said it right.
Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk about this. And I read the book too. So.
Oh, yeah. Look at it. Homework. Y'all see what I do for you? Thank you so much. I'm sure you have a lot to elaborate on where we maybe couldn't because we haven't had, that certain standpoint. But I would like to give you the screen for a minute just to tell the people out there what you do and where they can find you.
Again, my name is Kay Bly. My YouTube channel is The Fifth Wall. Follow us at The Fifth Wall. Hit that subscribe button. And my podcast is Horror and Hooch. Shout out to my co-host, D-Ray. And our theme is horror. We do everything horror. Horror movies, horror TV shows, horror books, horror news, memes, everything horror. This is our season, Halloween season. We are celebrating as of now. Let's go. Yes, we have a Spotify podcast. We are on TikTok, Horror and Hooch, and join our Facebook group as well, Horror and Hooch. If you love Halloween, if you love horror, you'll find a lot of happiness and joy on our social media pages.
Here. Thank you so much for that, Bly. Like, I just want to know, is the hooch, is it liquor?
Absolutely. Yes.
I didn't want to assume. I was like, I just really hope it's liquor. And it's not like, oh, is it liquor? Okay.
Yes, we talk about the latest horror trends and we sip some cocktails and some mixed drinks and all that good stuff.
Really? Oh,
Absolutely.
Man. I got to come over there and get some of that. I was just really hoping. I didn't want to come off like, is it liquor? But I'm really glad that it is.
The hooch is the drink.
I like that name, Horror and Hooch.
Horror and Hooch.
If it was me, I would be like Horror and Hoes. I like that.
Well, I just dropped the link for your Horror and Hooch podcast on Spotify, and I see a couple of people looking for your channel as well. So I'm going to drop that before we get started.
The Fifth Wall YouTube channel, all things horror, and we do a lot of comic books and superhero stuff too.
Oh, absolutely. Let me put that in there. So everybody's link is now in the channel. in the channel, in the chat. You guys, please go and check that out before we jump into the episode. Some of y'all are in here showing me love because y'all know our struggle is real. Come through, super chats. Let's see. Whitney Marie, thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate that $10. Y'all already know what it is. Thank you so much for that, Whitney Marie. It didn't come with a comment, but I'm just gonna assume that was for love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And we also have Bree here. Bree, you already know, like, thank you so much for the $15 super chat. Y'all keeping the lights on over here. You know, in my fictional, my corner, y'all keeping the lights on in my corner. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for showing me love before we jump into this show. Like, and I didn't even get a chance to ask you, K-Blah, what is like one word to sum up this episode for you? Not this episode, this series for you as a whole, and what you thought about it. Because we got miserable, and I would like yours as well.
One word. Just one word.
Just one word.
Pondering.
Oh, wow. So we have pondering, miserable, and myself. I'm gonna just say I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent. This was not what I expected, but that's not always a bad thing. But just to start off, because a lot of stuff happened in this show. It's like a lot and nothing at the same time. But I would just want to get into what we liked about the show, because I like to start off soft, because when I come, I'm gonna come. So I just want to start off, in the with some of the things that I really did like about this show, and you guys can of course elaborate on them and tell me how you felt about them as well. But I know one of the first things I noticed and liked right away was the fact that the author of the book, she is actually behind, and she did the writing on the show herself along with Rashida Jones. I was like, oh, that's different, because, a lot of the time someone gets the rights to a book and then they give their interpretation of what the book is. So the fact that she got to do this herself, and there is no question of, oh, well, I wouldn't have done or depicted that way. This is all her. Did anybody else recognize or feel any way about her having the chance to bring her own book to life?
I feel like I didn't know that, but that's good. I'm glad that it got to stay in her hands and she had the creative direction. So, power to the sister. But if I had to think of what did I like, the music was hitting. I liked the music that played in the show. And the actress that played Nella, she's very beautiful. I like her. She's pretty. Pretty actress.
What about you, K-Blah? With you reading the book, how do you feel? Do you feel like she did a good job bringing the book to life?
Honestly,
yeah,
the show is better than the book. Oh. And I don't say that a lot because I'm a big reader. Like I'm almost also simultaneously reading The Changeling and watching the show. So I'm a big reader. If it's a movie to a book, I'm gonna do both. But in this circumstance, the show did it justice.
Oh, wow. That makes me want to know what's in the book now, because there was I don't want to dive into the unfavorable things with the show just yet, but I'm really glad that she got to bring her own book to life, because so many times the author would go, I would have done this differently, or this interpretation didn't do my book justice. So the fact that she got to do that was absolutely awesome. I enjoyed the idea of the show, just the premise of what this show represents. I enjoyed the idea. And, I got a couple of things here. Our pain is what makes us who we are, a victim of circumstance. Girls, just use the grease. And of course, I think my favorite episode was probably episode 9. And I would like to, hear from K-Blah first. Which one of these were your favorite episode just in the series, and what aspects of the show did you enjoy? Because I know I really just enjoyed the idea of the show and what it represents.
I'm not sure which episode it was. I know it was one of the later episodes, but it was when they had the whole little group together. And the book calls them the OBGs, the other Black girls. But in the show where they had them all together, and it really gave us Sunken Place. To see all the girls together, and why is everybody so happy and cheerful and okay, maybe because I don't like toxic positivity. Like, you can like things and you can be nice, but don't overly do it, because there are going to be some things that you're gonna have to side eye and that you're not gonna like. But when people are like overly nice, like, that's why I respected her best friend. Like, no, a group full of Black women and all y'all are like extra, extra nice.
So you like the episode where they where it was like interrogation like 5.0, and then it just turned out to be like, oh, I just got goodie bags for you guys. It's like, well, girl, why y'all being so aggressive at this door? So is that the episode in question?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
when Nella, we gonna get to Nella, child, when she finally has a revelation. Oh, this isn't what I thought it was. Maybe I shouldn't be letting her grease my damn scalp. Let me get out of here. So that was yours. I can say that I just really like some of the themes that they tried to bring up, and I'm going to discuss the execution later, but I really like episode 9 when we got more into Hazel in her real life, her dynamic with her own mother, and her just kind of having to be the backbone and kind of make sacrifices, and she's just expected to because she is I'm the girl, whereas my brother may not have to do these things, or just feeling like, do I have to be a victim of my circumstances even though I want more for myself? Like, it was so many things here to unpack that were just really great. What about you, Nikki? What did you like? Did you like the idea of this show at all?
I definitely like the idea, especially when it comes to the workplace dynamics. I personally have had a few the other Black girl situations in real life where I've been the only Black person in the white space, and then that one Black person comes in as well. So I definitely love the topics that they explored. Even it was so real with what you just said with Hazel's background. I actually just had that conversation with my cousin, how it seemed in our family a lot of responsibility is put on the girls and the boys kind of get to skate. So they definitely touched on some great issues.
Yeah, I really like the conversation that we're going to get into fancy, child, because as soon as I see herself, she's fancy, and I get to sing the theme song from the Jamie Foxx show, personally. But that conversation where they are trying to really get her to use the grease, and she's like, well, if you take that away, then, who are we? Our pain is what makes us who we are. And she's like, do you know how, kind of low-key disgusting that sounds? Like, why would you want that to be a part of your existence? Why do we have to go through something to get to something, all the time as Black women? Like, there were a lot of things just here. What was your favorite episode, Nikki?
I did not have a favorite episode. Sorry.
Well, I'll say your favorite moment in the show, rather.
My favorite moment was any moment with Malaika. I did enjoy her. So any moment with Malaika, I did enjoy. And I did enjoy like the performances. I feel like the actress that played Nella, I actually just saw her in Insidious Red Door. She has a lot of potential. Like, she gives me leading lady. She commands the screen. She has great screen presence. So I did enjoy any moment where I didn't necessarily enjoy her character, but I love her, how she engages with other actors in the scene. So I did have moments like that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I know more than that, like getting back into the workplace. Like, if anybody has worked anywhere at this point, everybody has maybe been a victim of feeling like, oh, the tokenism, the microaggressions, the code switching. And it's just like, damn, am I always and forever going to be the only one? And then you just so happen. It's instant, like, hey, sis, like, you just believe just based off of the strength that you're like, it's another Black woman. I found, this is, I found a person who can understand, but just them kind of displaying the importance of diversity, like, and just constantly feeling like a other, like, child, the way them white people in the office kept calling her name. Like, it just felt like the white people were like sneaking up on her constantly, like, Nella, like, girl, what the hell? Like, what exactly do you want? Like, just that, along with the dynamics between her and her boss, and just that whole mentality that Nella has, like, oh, I can do some change from the inside. And it's just like, why would you want to do that instead of creating your own thing? I just really like that. And just the whole, we gonna get into the word sis. Like, I've never like been fond of sis, and this show made it worse. I've never been fond of somebody like, oh, hey sis, like, girl, ain't your sister? Don't call me sis because I'm not your sister. Like, don't do that. But how did you guys feel about just the, anything that you want to elaborate as far as just Black women in the workplace and dealing with things like such as
I
the
got
thing
my notes.
Not your notes, girl. Go ahead, K-Block. Go ahead with the notes.
I got my notes because I had to think about like things from the book and then in the show, and shout out to my book club for suggesting, so because I've had this book for a while, so this has been kind of like simmering, and then it was like this series come out, so I had to refresh. But I wrote down like the workplace microaggressions and code switching.
Yeah.
Were like things that kind of stood out to me. And thank goodness they didn't put a lot of this in the series. But if y'all didn't like Nella in the show, the internal dialogue she had in the book was annoying because she was already getting on my nerves in the series because she had that, oh, I don't see anything wrong with that, or I don't think it's that bad, or maybe you're overreacting. Imagine that in her internal dialogue.
Now I was good. I'm glad that they knew what to do.
leave that out because it was a lot, and so just being able to see on screen, it's like she knows that she's dealing with microaggressions, and she knows that she has to somewhat code switch.
Yeah.
So why are you resistant to understanding what was really going on with like your coworkers and Hazel? Like I didn't understand. Like if you know that you have to do this, why doesn't this other thing make sense to you?
Yeah. I'm going to read this comment block because I think they're hitting on. It says, all kinfolk ain't skinfolk. Hell no. Absolutely not,
Yeah.
Luna. The read book and watch the entire series. Strong start, bad ending. We all know the struggle in the workplace, but hair grease and twist invalidated the whole reel of the struggle. Oh wow. Luna said nope.
Personal identity was something else I wrote about because it's almost like Nella was struggling to prove herself. It's like, okay, I feel like I have to almost be Black enough for to prove to my coworker that I'm Black, but simmer it down for the white people in the environment. She had a really bad identity crisis. Going on with this, and you can see, and it kind of like goes into more detail in the book that she grew up in the suburbs and she went to like all white schools.
We can see it.
Exactly. So she kind of didn't really grow up around a whole lot of Black people, and so it's like, oh wow, I finally get a coworker who may understand me, but I've been in this white environment so much now I kind of have to prove myself. And how she kind of thought she felt comfortable amongst that other group of women because they were Black, but they almost felt like her.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
I think we got that with Malaika in the comment. Like, girl, I know you starved for melanin. Like, relax. It's okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Nikki? How did you feel about that? Just that code switch. And I know something that hit for me was when personally was the whole thing with Colin, the author, and the book being offensive to Black women and her having to humble herself and apologize to him. Like, oh, that pissed me off so much. But it's like we have been in spaces to where we have maybe like, I'm right. Why do I have to apologize? But I'm willing to do this because I need to keep my damn job. Nikki, how did you feel about all of these good things here?
Well, I felt like it was actually interesting to me the type of Black character we got with Nella, because it's kind of like the comment you just read about the kinfolk thing and the code switching. I actually identified in a way with Nella, but I have a completely different background. Nella's background was a sea of white people. I actually grew up in like a sea of Black folk. I really didn't interact with white people until honestly like high school. Like outside of like going to a store, but like having interpersonal relationships with I just was in a sea of Negroes. So I had the opposite situation, and I was very culture shocked and shell shocked when I got around I went to high school and I was like the only Black person in my class. It was the predominantly white. I was very shell shocked, and it was odd to me that we got a Black character like Nella, but I feel like different facets of Black people can still identify with the situation she's in her workplace. And like Kay Bly saying about the identity crisis, that irked me so bad. Even when it came to her best friend, the situation at the house when she actually told Hazel, okay, you can grease my scalp, because Hazel kind of pressured her and manipulated her with the, oh, you don't trust me enough. But then Malaika comes and say, oh, you want her to grease your scalp? You gonna throw away your, hair journey? And then she says, oh, well, I won't do it. You can't even make your own decision. Either your best friend sways you or Hazel sweat. That irks me so bad. But I feel like a lot of Black people go through that in certain situations, because it's like you have multiple identities. I have this identity when I'm with Black folk, then I have this identity when I'm with white folk, but then I have a certain identity when I'm with a certain type of Black folk.
Of course.
So I feel like that was very relatable.
Absolutely. What was relatable for me was and I already knew where it was going. So when it happened and she kind of low key took use of Nella's idea, the boss, the assistant, I think her name was Vera, when it was, okay, well, I need to pick your brain. Like, I have been in scenarios where it's I want to pick your brain, or, they're implementing things that you came up with, but you don't get any credit for it because you're not in that position. But the whole thing, like, it was so many things where I was like, oh Lord, like I've been there. Even just Nella coming in with her afro, like, child. We've had many of times, coming in with the natural hair. Me personally, like, I love to rock me a fade. I have literally had white bosses tell me, like, oh, you look so masculine. Like, bitch. Like, why would you do that to yourself? I loved you so much with your hair. That's a choice. Like, just those microaggressions, child. You're just like, I just have to deal with these things so that I can keep my job. Lord.
Yes, that whole, it's so much when it comes to Black women and hair. I loathe when I go to work and white people got to comment on my hair. I be feeling like, just please don't say nothing. Like, I don't need you to don't compliment me. Like, I remember having braids when I first started. I had straight, like, weave when I started a job. Then I got braids. Oh, I really liked your hair better when it was straight. Bitch, I don't care what you like about. Like, why do you feel entitled to? I have never in my life felt entitled to give people my unsolicited opinion on their appearance. Like, white people have a way, or certain ones, to feel entitled to Black people. Even in the show, I don't know if a lot of people caught this or if it's just my thing. There was a lot of non-consensual touching of Black people. It was moments where someone would touch Hazel's shoulder or touch Nella. It's like they feel entitled to you. And if I say something at work about please don't touch me, then I have an attitude. Then I'm aggressive because I don't want you to touch but like, I don't have autonomy over my own. Ooh, child, like, have
y'all ever been confused for another Black person at your job that you didn't even look alike, but y'all were Black and had similar hair?
Like, and y'all both have glasses. I thought you were. No, that's not me.
Oh, y'all both have a high puff. Oh, I thought that you were so and so.
No, have you ever got the high puff? You have the messy bun. Like, we've had meetings where it's just like, this person's messy bun is okay, but if I wear mine, then I'm unkept and I don't look professional. Like, it's a hot mess. But have y'all ever had to work with the likes of, I think we kind of answered that question, the likes of any of these people? I was like, I know every single one of these people. Like, who's worked with these people?
I have worked with every single one, but my most recent experience is kind of Tyra, what you said. I actually had an experience recently where I came to my supervisor with a suggestion, and she literally made me feel like it was the dumbest thing ever. Why would I even? Next thing I know, I swear to God, we're in a meeting, and she says, I had an idea it was my same exact idea. I was like, what the? Yeah. So
we're going to have to get into that, because that idea pissed me off when I can't even hold it. Like, when I tell you I was yelling Maya Angelou to the top of my lungs. If somebody shows you who they all believed in the first time, girl, if you say you're going to have my back, you better have that shit. Like, why would you, allow you to set me up for failure? But then
that is when I'm a Scorpio.
She draws her back in. No, she allows herself to get drawn back in. Just like, oh, she didn't stand up for me this time. But when it's presented that the I guess like the audit or whatever of the book to ensure that if it's offensive or not, the little secret read, she's like, oh yeah, isn't that Nella's idea? She's like, I'm like, no, the risk was entirely different this time, sis. It's not the same thing. But I'm sorry, I'm jumping. Go ahead, Kay.
No, she was way too she was way too trusting of people. See, that's why I wouldn't have lasted in this book, because see, once you make me mad, I'm just mad.
So
Hazel would have not gotten back in my good graces after she undercut her direct boss, the Millie from Scandal.
yes.
The way she talked to her with the microaggressions is like smile in your face, but also kind of say some slick shit. No.
That's what I
Mm-mm.
love here. That I need to pick your brain, or the little mama at the bottom here was my favorite. Like, how can I be an ally? Like, I was. Can you just read? Like, girl, could you please back up off of me, or him? I know the boss down here. What is his name? Is it Richard Wagner? Which was a whole thing in itself. I was like, that name sounds really familiar, and it's the name of
Oh,
this really
y'all really wouldn't have liked him in the book.
divisive composer throughout history, who has all these ties to all this great classical music throughout history, but he has all these ties to Hitler and all these anti-Semitic statements, and as well as he's really known for cheating on his wife. So I was like, oh, that makes sense with the whole, when we get more into the Wagner character.
And
But
like his
the
internal
whole,
dialogue in the book was like fetish for Black women. Like, I'm glad they left
I
that
can
part out.
see why they leave that out. I want to see. I want to hear, because we
Like, it
have
made
so
him a horrible person.
No,
in
they
the
have
book.
so much of him, like, he's like this, that one, and that one is that, but he's the cool. And I was like, he's not. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm here when you need me, type of thing. Like, everybody here was in their minds, like, I'm an ally. Like, it was very, but I have a Black friend. That I have a Black friend. People, it was giving that. But I knew every single person here. Anybody have anything else to elaborate on the white people, as I like to call them, in the show?
Well, what was just touched on with Hazel, the thing, when people speak to me, I am a very literal person. And I'm going to take what you said. It irked me the way she played that whole situation when she says, oh, I said I would have your back when the time was right. The time wasn't right. Wait a minute, baby. That's not what you said. You said you would have my back. Not when the time was right. You said when the time came. The time came and you ain't have my back. Like, I would have had to call that out. That is not what you said, ma'am. You did not say when the time was right.
Let's just delve on the things that we liked, because when I go in, like, I'm trying to refrain because it's just on the tip of your tongue. But like, I love the fact that there were so many newcomers here, and I knew from the time that I was watching Riverdale once upon a time, Argue with Your Mama. Ashley Marie here, I remembered her from that show, and it's just such a hectic scenario with the Black characters who are involved with anything on the CW. So the fact that, she was here and she was very prominent with the character, I was happy to see her. And everybody else was here. Everybody here was, pretty new. But I seen Fancy. I was like, oh, it's Garcelle. That's all we need. The simple things. Simple things are. I was like, it's Garcelle. I'm happy to see her. I was so happy, to see her. But how did you guys feel about Kay, I'm going to come to you first. How did you feel about the cast here and how they handled these characters versus, I guess, their counterparts in the book? Did they do them justice?
She was giving very much The Devil Wears Prada. For me, it really put me in the mind. It's like it was like Get Out spliced with The Devil Wears Prada. And I like that she was calm with it. It's like she was a calm evil. And it was very much like, if she was white, it would have gave microaggressions. It was just very much like, oh, well, we could just do it like this. Or, things would be so much better if it were like this. It was like she wasn't yelling, she wasn't fussing. And it was just like, she was giving really creepy vibes, but it worked. I really loved her in that role. And to see her in that, it was that calm evil. It's just something about that's just like really creepy.
I love that. Not even like calming, but even if it wasn't calm and it was like offensive or a microaggression, you're going to perceive it as something else just because it's coming from a fellow Black woman. But Nikki, how did you feel about the cast here? Because we about to get into my girl, because I've been waiting. Malika, girl, we got to talk about you. But how did you feel about the cast overall and pretty much how they did? I know you already spoke on pretty much Nella, but everybody here as a whole.
Yeah, I actually thought the performances were pretty good. I did like Garcelle's nice, nasty approach with her character. And I wasn't very familiar with like the other character. I've never seen Riverdale. I wasn't familiar with like Malaika and like Owen and Hazel. I'm not familiar with those actors, but I actually thought that they did really well. I was very surprised because it was unfamiliar faces, but I was like, you know what, they got some chops. Like I thought everybody did really good. My favorite performance would have to be Garcelle and Malaika. I thought they really did well with their characters.
Absolutely. Getting back to that soundtrack, y'all already know me and my music loving self. I was here for every single episode in the soundtrack. That's how I know it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because if I'm engaged more in your wardrobe for the show and your soundtrack rather than the show itself, that's a problem. But if you gonna open up the show with y'all niggas had enough, give me some more. Y'all niggas want the wild shit, give me some more. You'll split with a weed, and I was like, all right. I was here for the ride on the subway, and just them kind of tying in the themes and kind of the titles of some of the episodes with the music, as well as kind of different genres. There was a lot of indie artists in there. I was like, whoever is behind the music on the show, it's great. Like I know, Nikki, you said that you was slapping with the music, but do you have anything else to elaborate with the music? Because I peeped that it was good as well.
Yes, and it wasn't just that it was amazing music. Like I in particular would perk up. It was a lot of times where I think it was like towards the end of the episode, it would close out with a song. And if you really listen to the lyrics they were saying in those closing songs, it was like, oh, wait a minute. Like they were telling us something more with that music that they put in at the very end of the episode. So I definitely feel like that was 100% on point.
Yeah. What about you, Kay? Did you care at all for the music in the show?
Yes, that was in my notes too. I had a little star by. I'm always very conscious of the music, especially when it's a Black show, of what they're going to do with the music and who's scoring it. So yeah, I absolutely loved it, and I did catch wind of that at the end of the episode, like really paying attention. They were very conscious of what they were doing, how they ended the show.
Very detailed. It was like, oh, now that's being caught up in the rapture, girl. Something about to happen.
And even with that Busta Rhymes, "Give Me Some More," he sampled the Psycho. Like that was a little Easter egg in itself.
Let's see. Why don't you sing anymore? I did not know what to expect. Like I was on high alert when I saw that her boyfriend was white. Just within the space and the energy that was coming up of all the coming off of the other white characters in the workplace, I was like, all right, Owen, what's up, man? But I like Owen. I really liked Owen as a character and how they utilized him, because I just really wasn't sure what role he was going to play, because I'm like, all of y'all rocking together. We can't trust Owen. I was like, get out of here, white man. But but Owen really ended up just being a really great character in an addition, especially him. His dynamic with Malaika, I was like, I'm really liking this character and how he engages with Nella. Because after that scene when Hazel came to his job, I said, if he don't say anything to Nella about it and he just rock with it, I ain't messing with you, Owen. As soon as he got home, he was like, yeah, so she came to my job. I was like, yeah, Owen, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. But Nikki, did you feel any way about Owen, or, how did you feel about him as a character?
I actually feel like Owen was a little underutilized as far as the things we explore, because I did like Owen, but I did not get lover chemistry from Owen and Nella. I got friendship. Nella, Owen, and Malaika felt like a friend group. But when I say Owen was underutilized, I feel like the themes we explore, them being in an interracial relationship wasn't like a thing, which is fine, but it was a missed opportunity. One thing with Black women being in a relationship with a white man versus a Black man being in a relationship with a white woman, there's a lot to explore there, because a lot of times we have a certain type of Black woman, natural hair, not light skin, just not the traditional white version of standard of beauty. Then a lot of times they are going where they're celebrated, not where they're tolerated, because a lot of the Black men in their dating pool want that ideal light-skinned Black girl, small nose Black girl, straight hair Black girl. So there's a reason that you may be over there with a white guy who, it may be some fetishization in there, but they want the all natural Black girl. So I feel like it was something we could have explored with the fact that Nella was with the white guy and she was the type of Black woman she is, where she's rocking her fro and she's more natural beauty and she's not dark, she's not the traditional feminine presenting woman. So I feel like I wish we could have just explored that a lot more. So that was kind of disappointing for me.
Yeah. I'm on XK because I know that she has read the book, but I did like the fact I get the group friends vibe that you guys are getting, because there wasn't a lot of like, I was like, so they ain't gonna get it in? It's like that kind of show? Okay, it's cool.
Did they even kiss?
No, it was just a lot of them, you know.
They did like some pecks on the cheeks, like when she would come home from work, and it was just like, oh, hi.
I put this comment here, you know, the why don't you sing anymore, just to show like he knows her. Like he made a lot of initiative to go like, are you okay? Something is worrying you, you're changing, this is not our dynamic, you're acting differently, like just to engage and just show that he knows her beyond just, oh, this is my Black girlfriend, like I really know who you are. But I really did wish that they would have explored just the dynamic of her being in the more of the, you know, the white environment, the white school, and her ending up with Owen, or, you know, just things like that they didn't really explore. Kay, did they explore any of that in the book?
No, they were giving very much friend group, and just two out of the friend group hooked up.
Oh. Like, oh, okay. Well,
it was giving very much friend group.
It was. I think it was a missed opportunity to just explore a little bit more of Nella's dynamic and why maybe she didn't want to, you know, explore her own circle of, or even if she did, or if it was just maybe a brief moment of conversation that we could have just explained a little bit more of their dynamic. But I really did like his. I liked his dynamic with Malaika more than Nella, actually. But getting into Malaika, like, child, when I tell you Malaika, I wouldn't have made it. Never would have made it. Because who lies about TLC? I don't like her. She was such a saving grace for me on this show. I would not have been able to make it through this show if she was not here. Even though a lot of the characters were great, layered, you know, really, really great chemistry on screen. But as far as, you know, moving the needle, the narrative, and holding my interest, whether I'm laughing or just engaging with her at all, she was the only person who consistently brought that to me. And I really love what they did with her character, because they could have easily turned this into a stereotype, you know, situation. And she wasn't that. I felt like she was so layered, you know, outside of this, oh, this is Hazel and Nella is this way. And here we have, you know, the dark skinned ghetto friend, or, you know, like that. I didn't get that off of her, and I was really happy that they, you know, wrote her to be that way. But Malaika kept me going. This is me. All the questions that she asks, all the discernment that she has, you know, about, you know, or is this really a friend? Like, I'm not, you know, that closed off. And it's not just in the sense of, oh, you're my friend, you're just my friend. Like, no, I'm just a little bit more trusting with my energy, and I'm noticing things that you aren't really paying attention to, naive Nella. But I loved her freaking character. Kay, how did you feel about Malaika?
She was giving a Black character that was actually very culturally aware. I hate when Black characters are in something and they have no awareness of who they are and their culture. She was giving very much somebody who could have easily been in The Blackening. And I love that. Like we don't do those type of things, or why would you do that? Like, that makes no sense. Or you don't see that. You're not getting those vibes. And one thing I will say, they made her the comic relief in the series. And she was still the same in the book, but it wasn't a lot of comedy in the book. It wasn't as funny. I like that they made her like a lot more humorous in the series.
Nikki, what about you? I know this was your girl. Elaborate on this character.
Well, and Tyra, if I can quickly bookmark something, Jesus Alvarez made a comment I would love to respond to whenever you get to the comments, so we can.
Yeah, we gonna get all.
But to answer your question with Malaika, and what I remember what her name is, just think of Assalamu Malaika. Like, that's how. But what I really loved with her character is, like you said, I feel like it would have been really easy to have that stereotypical side chick, no nonsense, always funny Black best friend. And I liked how they did her, because I didn't feel like she was the only comedic relief in the show. The white co-workers, that whole tone was very much giving me comedic, wacky, sitcom energy with those. And I actually didn't like that they went so comedic, because they made it feel like, I'm like, no, this is real life, how you find people like that in the workplace. So it came off a little comedic and wacky for me, with Vera being like, do my eyebrows. And then when Maisie introduces Hazel and she's in the background like doing a bankhead bounce, I was like, what the hell is she doing? So I like that Malaika was not the only little comedy that we got. Maybe she was the only intentional comedy, but I really enjoyed her, and she was, for me, the voice of the audience. Yeah, there were a lot of moments with Nella where it was like, black folk don't act like black folk don't do this, girl. And
exactly, like saying, she's very culturally aware. Like if a black person was in this situation, we know how we would act, and that's why Nella was so frustrating, because we're like, why are you being so naive?
Right, and the thing that stood out the most for me with Malaika is the TLC conversation. Oh, she's just trying to bond with you. You don't bond with me over a lie, girl. Like, that's a red
we gonna get into all of those lies. Let me read them. Everything was a lie, pretty much. Let's see. Hey, at Struggle Reviews TV, I just came to show you and every beautiful woman some love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, if you guys are here, please hit that like button. We have 75 people in here at this moment. If we could get 100, that would be absolutely awesome. Hit that like button and leave that comment. Let's see. Hello, Marissa. Thank you for being here, girl. Let's see. A white patient said she wanted to use my hair as stuffing for her furniture. What? Oh, what? Hey, oh, girl.
See, this is why organ harvesting is real. See, I can't be around this type of no.
Girl.
Oh man, you can tell she do organ harvesting on the side.
Nope. Hey Mo, thank you so much for being here. Let's see. I love it. Thank you for reviewing this series. Absolutely. I had to talk about it. Thank you so much for being here. That comment just threw me off. Like, because why are you saying that to me? Let's see. Oh my God. This one job I worked at had customers who were wealthy and would comment on me saying who they thought I looked like. It gave me zoo vibes. Yeah, not you being viewed. Baby, I would be whooping ass left and right. This needs to be part of diversity training. Yeah, is there a such thing as diversity training? Because a lot of the times it doesn't seem like it. Let's see. I'm with Tyra. I wanted to see it. Yeah, that energy, that those internal thoughts that you're saying were in the book. I wish they would have kept a little bit of that in. Let's see. Can I touch your hair? Child, we don't need to go no further than that. Everybody's had, a moment of oh my God, can I touch your hair? No. Garcelle blew me away with her character as she played it too well. Yeah, she was very, very well. Garcelle has really always low-key been a great actress, but it's just, I'm happy now that a lot of the stuff that's coming out, I'm seeing her get a lot more opportunities than maybe she got in the past. Let's see. And you said that comment was by who, Nikki?
Jesus.
Let's see. Jesus. Okay. Teddy, damn. Shaking my head. Then let's see. It's a pass for me. I'm tired of the swirling agenda on these shows. Shaking my head. I can't support shows like that, no matter how good the reviews are. Is this the comment you're talking about?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see. There's another one. Let's see. Wait. It's pretty much the same thing. Let's see. The
that
damn
comment either.
What? Let me scroll down.
Wanting to see a natural black woman with a black man. That was the comment.
Oh, okay. Well, make you back to that agenda all day long. A lot of people, would love to see a natural black woman with a natural black man. But I think just for the premise of this show and the background that Nella was supposed to have, naturally
it made sense because she related to white people more
with the Owen.
And that's why I was saying I wish they would have explored that, because the comment was saying instead of her with the white guy, we need to see all natural black woman with a black man. But it's a reason that doesn't work like that. And that's why I wanted them to explore that with Owen, because honestly, just in life, it's not that you're never going to see it, because obviously you will, but a lot of black men don't check for the all natural black woman, because that's not the ideal standard of beauty. And when a man has a woman on his arm, that's like his prize, that's his social status. So it's a reason we don't see that. It's the reason we see her in a relationship with the white man. But that's why I'm like, I wish they would have explored that, because you do have the audience, like the comment that says, well, we need to see the all natural black girl with the black woman with a black man. But there's a reason we don't see that dynamic.
Let's see. Marissa get the strap on 50 Cent. Like, don't be telling you want to use my hair for stuffing for your couch. Like, excuse me. Smash the like button. Hello, Polly. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. You guys go check out Polly with the Latino slant. He is everything Latino and more. Thank you so much for being here. Can't wait to discuss the Winning Time finale with you. Let's see. Bet she thought that was a compliment too. Oh, y'all really upset about you guys are like hella
it
upset.
was giving very much organ harvesting.
Before we dive into what we didn't like about the show, does anybody else want to elaborate on some of the things I may have missed that we liked about the show? Any more stars next to anything, Kay?
Being that I am a horror fan, I like to see that Black people are trying to venture more into horror and thriller, because I'm here for a good dramedy and comedy, everything like that, but I'm here for like the horror, suspense, and thrillers. So I like that they're slowly trying to expand our horizon for our faces to be seen in those type of spaces, because the horror genre in itself has been gatekept for so long, and we're not exactly prevalent there. So I'm all here, all for it when we start to kind of venture out and explore this type of territory and adding these horror elements, adding these thrillers, being suspenseful. I like plot twists. Let's give us more complex stories.
Yeah,
we can handle a complex storyline.
Yeah, that's great. I completely agree. Let me see. I think Jesus is clapping back. Let's see. That's not true. I'm a Black man, and most Black men want Black women with their natural hair. Trust me, we prefer y'all natural. Nikki.
Excuse me, sir. You don't. I said not all, but I live as a Black woman. And I have all Black women friends. I know the type of men. I was loose natural, and then I locked my hair. And the difference of men who approach me when I have a straight weave versus the Black men that approach when I'm natural, trust me, is vastly different. And like my dark-skinned Black women friends with natural hair, the type of men, I have so many white men hit on me when I'm natural, it's insane. Versus I have so many Black men hit on me when my hair is straight. And the same goes for my other Black female friends and dark-skinned friends. When you have the dark-skinned Black woman that's a little overweight and she got a big nose and natural hair, a lot of the brothers ain't checking for her because they want the ideal standard of beauty. They want the
European beauty standards.
Yes.
Well, you got cockabug standing all over you. Okay, don't get into the don't you wish you had hair. We're not going there. But I'm all here, for the discussion and the debate. Nikki, is there anything else you want to elaborate on that you liked about the show that we maybe didn't cover before we move on to maybe the things that we didn't like so much?
No, I don't think so.
Let's get to it. Well. Child, like let's push these glasses up. Though everybody got glasses here. That is amazing. I just noticed that.
Glasses gang on deck. Glasses gang.
I'm looking at Kay like, let's push these glasses. I'm like, oh, hey, we all have glasses. Blind, gang. Okay. Getting into the dislike side, really, I had kind of just piggybacking off of what Kay just said, the horror and social commentary. It is like, as you can see here, I have bad hair, and Get Out, I feel like the show was a mixture of the two. It's becoming diluted to me. I'm really liking the idea of, more of us, getting into Black people in science fiction and horror, but it just seems like it's kind of tropey now to do a horror that involves social commentary with Black people, and it's not executed in the best way that it could possibly be to like maybe convey something like, as great as the Get Out was, or, bad hair was, I had words for bad hair, but there's, I just feel like everything is kind of piggybacking off of, if we, it's horror and social, and it's not just this. I think like the most recent Candyman, or like movies like Us, just like it's like Jordan Peele kind of low-key opened up the floodgates. And it's just like, we want more of this, but we also want it to be executed well. Don't just use it as a trope to maybe pull like the Black audience in, like we're going to get some, you know, social commentary, and then it's not executed to the best of its ability. But that was just, you know, my thoughts on that personally. Nikki, how do you feel about the placement of Black horror and just the staple of just social commentary being attached to it?
I might have an unpopular opinion. What I would the thought that was prevalent in my mind as I was watching this was, I'm sick of Black folk in horror and sci-fi, because we always hear people say, "Oh, we need to tell Black stories. We need Black characters," but we keep getting the same damn Black stories, the same type. There has been this wave of, I just feel like, why does it always have to be some real Black shit at the core of it? Why it gotta be hair grease? Like, from they clone Tyrone to the angry Black girl and her monster to the blackening talking about spades was the motive. I might be the only person on planet Earth, but I saw the Black horror movie called Bitch Ass last year. Why it always gotta be some real extra Black shit? Like, Black people have a lot more conflict besides just race. Black people have a lot more struggles besides just race. We have a lot more identity. We have a lot more conflict. We have a lot more stories to tell. So when you talk about Black stories and horror and sci-fi, I'm tired of it being the same old Black shit. And I'm a Black ass person, but give us something else. If I was to talk about my struggles, it ain't all centered on being Black. Like, there are a lot more nuance to the Black story and the Black experience. We don't all have the same experience. We don't all have the same story. So yeah, I'm honestly over it, because they keep being the same. I'm sick of it. Give us another story. Put Black folk in sci-fi and tell the same way white folk get to be in movies and have all kind of conflict. They don't have nothing to do with anything about their race. Give us a story that has nothing to do with our race. Okay, I'm done with my tangent.
The way I look at it is, when we don't include our race, to me it seems like disingenuous. Like, I'm not sure if you guys seen Behind Her Eyes, I think it's the name of it, on Netflix. The leading character was Black, and I feel like she could have been any race. Because I feel like when they put Black people just as a placeholder, I feel like they're there, but they don't move in a way that it could be anybody.
Yeah.
In that place. And like, that bothers me when I'm like, we're just there to be a Black face, and we don't have anything that feels like us in it. Because I feel like, even though I'd like to see different stories and stuff too, like The Man Who Fell to Earth, or From Earth, or something like that came out last year, was a really good one. But I feel like, even with that, a lot of the things that we experience, whether it's a vampire, a werewolf, or a zombie, our culture is going to shine through. And if it doesn't, the characters, to me, don't seem legit, because then it could be, it could easily be replaced with a different race if they don't feel like they have any cultural identity.
Well, yeah, I agree, but it's a difference between having a cultural identity and having the only central conflict be all some Black ass shit. Like, why I gotta be spades? Why I gotta be hair grease? Like, why we gotta be in the hood? Like the girl with the angry Black girl and her monster, we gotta be in the hood. Like, we have a lot more stories to tell, and you can have your identity without having the only central conflicts. It's kind of like when you have that one Black character in the movie, right? And like the Voyage of Demeter, we had the one Black character on the boat. Typically, what they do in those situations is, it's going to be some type of racial animosity. You the only Black person, so all the white people must have. No, it's more conflict when you put a bunch of strangers together other than your Black ass. Like, it's a lot of other conflict.
Yeah,
but the world in general is racist. Like, I love the Voyage of the Demeter, by the way. It was good. That's underrated. And I loved it, but you have to think about, especially in that time period where he came from, the white people weren't checking for no Black doctors anyway. So it would seem, insincere that he would just be Black and getting along with these people while there's a vampire, and they not look at him suspicious because he's Black and intelligent. Like, it wouldn't make any sense that this wouldn't, because it's just real life that's That's what happens when we're in those situations. Like the movie Talk to Me that just came out, that was also Black led, but I feel like she had no cultural identity at all.
I like that. I like that though. I actually like that about her. I like a little bit of both. If we're gonna get this,
No,
then I need it to be executed to the best of his ability.
I didn't.
I don't want everything to just be absolutely, but if we're gonna pigeonhole something as, oh, this is gonna be a social commentary horror, oh, that shit better be good. And it's not just me feeling like you're piggybacking off of kind of what's hot right now with the culture and just attaching social commentary to a Black horror because Black people want to see themselves in horror, and what better way to do it than to, execute it this way. I like roles that don't pigeonhole the Black character to their identity. Like it just shows diversity to me. And a lot of times with the writing, it's either up or down. It's either you like black, or it's no identity. It's like no.
Yeah, it's either or. It's like you stereotype Black, or you just like a Black face.
Yeah, but I like the fact that characters, like when people go like, oh, I just wrote this character, like I like the fact that anybody could have played that character. It's just not, oh, this wasn't specifically written for a Black person, because a lot of the times those Black people writers don't know a Black person, so they're writing what they think a Black person internalized. Like it's just like, no, let's just do this, and then I'm gonna play it how I would as a Black actress. But I like a little bit of both. I put this We Got Y'all here, and cohesion with y'all know Issa, We Got Y'all, and I was like, we've seen this done better for less and less time. I was like, we have seen these dynamics here, and I feel like it was executed so much better in spaces, and that's workplace situations as well as Black workplace horror, social commentary. We've seen these things executed way better. So if you are going to dedicate a 10 episode series to it, you had so much time to really like drive it home, like, because I just was thinking about all the little moments that we got just with Issa at We Got Y'all, and I was like, those things hold more weight and were more memorable and sensible to me versus kind of what we got into here. It was like we were bringing up stuff and they didn't elaborate on a whole lot of things for me. I just felt like we've seen the dynamics, grease or not. The only thing that's separating this is the grease. The grease or not, we've seen these dynamics handled, and they've been handled way better. And I was like, damn, this is a whole 10 episode series. We just could have done so much more with the premise here. And maybe, my expectations were a little too high, but I just feel like if we're going to go for it, like, let's go for it. Let's not half-ass it. And even before we get into Nella, like even getting into just the horror in the show versus I guess like that trailer and that opening that we got with Kendra on the subway and her constantly seeing the reflection of Kendra. Or I thought there was going to be like way more horror here. The flickering of the lights, like it was it didn't go anywhere. Because from that damn trailer, I was like, is she in hell? Is this purgatory? Like what is this a workplace purgatory? Like what is going on? Like I just thought that there would be more horror elements here than we actually got. So just to find out like, oh, it's just grease. I'm like, oh, I thought it was something else. But did anybody get any vibes of, I thought just with her, it wasn't just going to end off with, Nella's constantly seeing a reflection of Kendra, not just because she idolizes her. If I had to hear Burning Heart one more fucking time, like that shit got on my nerves. I just didn't want to hear the title of that book again. Like I was disgusted at the end because they kept diving into that book. Well, what about the Burning Heart? But I just loved it. Like, oh my God, say it again. But I thought that was going to lead to an underbelly of, some seedy, horrific things in the workplace or like something else other than it just, coming down to a grease scalp. But maybe that was just me. Did you guys get your feel of the horror did you feel like it went anywhere? Because I was like, this is not what I expected.
That was actually a big letdown to me, is the fact that I actually feel like they throw in horror elements as kind of an afterthought. There are moments where the lights flicker, and like, for example, when Nella sees the surveillance video on her computer and it looks like someone's looking at her, or she kept seeing reflect, that goes nowhere. Like Who was looking at her? Was somebody looking at her on the surveillance? Why did that pop up on her computer?
It was
And like
fancy.
you said, when we see the opening where Kendra is, and I actually love that opening where it transitions from her running from the office to the elevator to the subway. I actually thought that was really smart, but it goes nowhere. Why the hell was she looking ragged and running? What was happening in the office?
Yeah.
Then the lights flickering thing was very inconsistent because they ended up tying it to the hair grease. When certain characters had their hair grease, then the lights would flicker. But Nella's
hair was not
with
greased
no
yet.
hair grease. It just was so inconsistent. The horror for me, the horror thriller elements they tried to tie in, for me, it felt like a afterthought and it felt sloppy.
Because if we're getting down to it, I'm guessing we were supposed to perceive it as this was one of the after effects of the grease. There was never any horrific things actually happening. This is just a side effect of the grease. So Kendra on the subway in the very beginning, that was just, her imagination. And then if it's like okay, if it's that, then why is Nella seeing her reflection in the elevator, or in her computer screen, or just I don't know. Kay, how did you feel about the horror in the show? Because you the horror and hooch girl.
Yeah, maybe if they would have did a little bit more with that, because they talk about that a little in the book. It's saying like the original formula of the hair grease. It kind of like it messed with your mind a little bit. Like you would like be babbling and it caused you like a lot of itching, which we kind of seen Hazel doing that a little bit when she was like, is itching and scratching her wig and stuff like that. Like I wish they would have like shown like the side effects of it, because see, they only wanted us to see the good part. I think we would have got a lot more horror elements if they would have shown like the experiments that went wrong with the hair grease. Give us that. I want to see the people losing their minds. I want to see the people who ripping their hair out because it was itching, or them babbling and stuff like that. Like they don't specifically like detail it, like show it, but like they say like, like the earlier formulas was like, it wasn't, it was like a bad batch. And then I think we would have gotten a little bit more like sci-fi type thing if they would have showed us, like in the book, they have different types of greases. Like this grease will give you this type of personality, and this one will make you like this. Like I wanted them to like instill a little bit more fear in my heart instead of only making it seem like this grease is going to bring me a good life.
Oh, that's what they said. I'm gonna read some of these super chats, guys. Thank you so much, Luna Cascade. Let's see. Agreed. Sort of off topic, but when that's done, the pushback is crazy X fantasy or science fiction genre like House of the Dragon or Dune. Thank you so much, Luna, for that super chat. I appreciate you. Absolutely. Let's see. Thank you so much for that $20 super chat. Let's see. Stopping by to say what's up, and I agree about people in horror. It doesn't always have to be about race or social issues, which is why the Candyman remake didn't work for me. Oh, y'all saw my review on that.
I liked the remake because it was just going off topic, because the very first Candyman was more about this white woman and that whole thing. And I ain't gonna say his name too many times, but I like what it brought to the horror genre, but I liked that the central focus and Black horror wasn't a white person. I think I like that aspect more with the remake.
Yeah, but I didn't want to give it a pass just because we got rid of Helen's ass. It was a lot of, it was, because it was always like, hey, did you forgot what they did to you, and you run around here in this hood, killing all these Black people. I think that was the whole thing, with the first one. So when we kind of get into that, it's just like, okay, we got rid of Helen's ass, but there's still problems here. But thank you guys so much for those super chats. I greatly appreciate it. Getting into problems, naive Nella. I did not like Nella's character one bit at all.
She would have got on your nerves.
There was such a way to write her if we wanted, because we don't have to go. And if you say she would have been worse, ciao. There was a different direction to go to where we could get Nella to where she needed to be, even if she was being naive. there was a way to do it to where at least it was believable. Cause like here, it's like, I don't care what your background is. I don't care, you just being happy to see another, fellow Black woman in the workplace. Certain stuff just isn't going to fly. So the naivety of her character was like borderline, like cringy and just downright stupid to me. It was pissing me off. I don't want to go too far. Nikki, how did you feel about Nella's character in the? You don't own me. I can pick my own friends. Yeah. Oh, I just really want to have Hazel be a part of this because she was my inspiration. Like, and once again, really leaning more into her lack of self identity. But there was just so many moments where it was just like, girl, do you not? Ain't nobody sliding up to you and dropping a note in your person telling you that this person isn't who they are just for sport. Like, I just can't. Nikki, how did you feel about Nella and her being naive?
Yeah, she was definitely a very unlikable protagonist for me. And I feel like there was actually, like you said, a way to portray her. You can have a certain naivete where it's realistic. Because I will even say I do have I used to a lot more have a naivete when it comes to Black women. I would just innately feel comfortable, trust, feel like we're here. Like, even if I don't know you, like, I'm Black, you Black, come on, girl, like, we in this together. There can be a naivete of feeling like, oh, this person is like me. You're a woman too. You're a Black woman too. So you feel a certain trust innately. And there was a way to portray her where it was a realistic, naive, and the way they portrayed Hazel, she should not have been written where she came out so obviously like something was there was a way that I wish they would have done it where it slowly unfolded and it wasn't just this huge glaring sign to the audience that, oh yeah, something up with her ass.
So I like Burning Heart too. That's my favorite book too.
That toxic positivity, I can't do it.
They would have just toned Hazel's motive down. It wouldn't have made Nella look so overtly naive.
Yeah. So and we could have grew with Nella and been surprised right along with her. Like, oh, girl, you're not at all who we thought you were. But literally first episode, girl, I got your back. And I was like, oh, girl, that's all you got. Girl, all you got to do is tell me one time and, mess up in my face one time. And just that in correlation with I brought pastries in the office. And it's and you have Nella verbatim out of her mouth going like, oh, you just happen to bring pastries in this bitch when I'm having the worst day of my life. I could get fired and lose my job. But yeah, you're still allowing this woman in your space. It just seems absolutely crazy. Kay, how did you feel about Nella? And if you can, elaborate on some of the things that she did in the book that would have made her just, I guess, really undigestible for us.
Y'all would have told her to shut up in this book in her mind, because just her internal dialogue, if that her outward behavior, if you just had to read that internally, it's like she was really annoying. And I hate when the main character of certain stories are annoying, like Bella in Twilight. She got on my nerves. Tris in Divergent got on my nerves. Nella, I'm adding you to the list. You were because you're not seeing the forest for the trees. And we really want you to, and it's taking you a while to get there. And to do that and to try to reading her thought process. And at the same time, it's like so you're acting like this and you really feel that way. Like you not getting it.
All of this is if Hazel never crossed Nella from jump, it would have made her character more believable. Yeah, it would have or even if they would have reworded what she said to Colin when he inquired, like, well, what did you think about the book? Just for her to blatantly throw her under the bus like that right away. It was just like, and then we cut to her lingering outside the door like a stalker, like, oh, I delivered, like, you came all the way from Harlem to drop papers off at my doorstep. Like, first of all, how you know where I live? Like, it just wasn't it wasn't really doing what I needed it to do, or just, I don't know. I've never been a Nella. I'm a very guarded person. I'm a very guarded person and very selective about my energy and my spaces. So just to see her so eager to invite this woman into her space, and I was guessing that we were supposed to just believe it because she was just that desperate. Not even just, that lack of self-awareness, but this is a fellow, Black woman in the office. It's just the two of us. Like, why wouldn't we, be like this? I mean, we're going to make fetch happen regardless of her constantly lying to me every single time we talk. anything else on this, because it just really pissed me. I was like, why do they have to display her as being such an idiot for us to get from A to Z? I was really annoyed. It was the main thing that kind of drew me away from the show and anticipating another episode.
Yeah, and I feel like they try to explain it away with the whole you're starved for, to be around Black
Melanin.
people as a way to explain why, but that still wasn't enough. And even like you said, being somebody that works in like corporate office, there's no way in hell that I'm finna be running my mouth to a new like coworker when she was like just telling her like, come on sis, spill the tea, and she like I ain't got nothing to spill because this is my job and my livelihood, and I don't know who you gonna run your mouth to. It just was a lot. Even when she was dealing with Shawnee, and Shawnee was like, oh yeah, he's sleeping with such as, like, why are you immediately telling a new coworker like inter office business that could get you in trouble? But yeah, if they would have done the characters better, both Nella and Hazel, it wouldn't have made Nella so just damn idiotic.
Undigestible. Not even that, not even just the workplace situation where, this asshole Colin here, but the moments where she can blatantly see like she's a manipulator, she's a liar, she's like really into deception, she's willing to, do a little of this and a little of that to get her way. Like, this isn't somebody I should just like instantly befriend right off the back and invite them into my space with my friends, with my man. Like, it was just like, come on. Like, I was like, what is it? Are there women out here like this?
Like even like when she was able to get Vera to like, well, your boss has never let you leave before 5 o'clock in 2-3 years. If she could play her, what the hell you think she gonna do with you? Like, if somebody is manipulative to other people, girl, what you think they're gonna do with you?
Like, what? So that cake wasn't your grandparents' wedding cake? Like, girl, hell no, I didn't nasty ass cake. I don't know. Like, I'm a liar, and I'm showing you that I'm a liar, and we just keep persisting and wanting this person to be in our space, and also giving them credit and trying to bring, like I have here, I like to bring Ella on and not bring Hazel on, and I'm just like. And you even have, which I guess was, a tie back into the Grease. We kind of have Nella already displaying things that they wanted the Grease to do for her anyway. Like, why would you want to bring on Hazel? She, she has nothing to do with this. Like, I handed this project to you for this goddamn burning her heart book that they couldn't stop talking about for every single episode. It's just like, no, like, I just want to, I want to share this. If we come up, if one of us win, we all can, get it together. And it's just like, yeah, if she is displaying these tendencies that you want the Grease to do, then why do we actually need to grease her in the first place? Like, I just couldn't. And then just the notes, the leave Wagner now notes, the flickering lights, the stalker, and that whole situation there. It just was just so many red flags for me to just like, you know what? Hey, I could see why you would want to be friends with Hazel. No, I absolutely don't see it. And if I was you, I would just keep Malaika in my back pocket and not talk to nobody else. But that's just me.
Same.
Oh man, yeah, this was a lot. But the first time somebody shows you what's up with them, please get all the way up out of my space. Yeah, how did you guys feel about I guess Hazel and her journey in the show? Her friendship with her, as well as how she, I guess I hated like we gonna get into the pacing when we find out how she ended up the way that she is and why she's in this position. How did you feel about her character, Nikki? Just as a whole.
You know what? You mentioning the pacing, it killed me when we went back to tell Hazel's story. And one thing I always gripe about is I hate when movies or shows tell me instead of showing me. I felt the opposite here. I feel like I did not need a whole episode about Hazel background. And it might have been because of how they placed it. We get this moment where everything comes to a head. And then next thing I know, we had a job interview. And I was like, what the hell? Like, that threw me off so bad. And with the character like Hazel, I guess that goes into like that horror aspect. I wanted it to be a lot more sinister. I don't want to have to feel no empathy for her. Oh, she was just like, what, down on her luck. And then no, for me, it would have been enough when she confronts Nella in the bathroom, that whole stupid ass situation. And she's like, I came from nothing and Diana helped me out. That's all we need. That's all the character background we need. The girl came from nothing. Diana helped her. Now she here brainwashing Black women. That's enough. But the story arc and how, or the character arc and how they did it for her, I felt like as an audience, what am I supposed to feel? Y'all want me to feel sorry for her? Y'all want me to identify? Like, what are we doing here? Why did we take this whole journey just to go backwards to reintroduce a character you already introduced to the audience?
Yeah, I think it should have came earlier. It probably
Yes.
didn't need, a whole episode, but just
Yes.
her backstory and her motive, it should have been way earlier. We didn't need to get all the way to the end of the show to figure like, oh, this is why she's doing what she's doing. Like, no, that would have been really beneficial maybe in maybe the first 4 episodes. Somewhere right there, it should have been there. But how did you feel about her character, Kay? And anything to elaborate on Hazel as far as the book that we didn't really get in the show?
It's just something about people who are like consistently happy and smiley that it's just suspicious of me. That should already tell you that there is something going on. Look where we are in life. Ain't nobody happy like that every day. And she was always in her personal space. Like, you see how close she is to her? Like, she was always in her, like, her little bubble. Like, why are you this close and smiling at me and stuff? It was really giving, like, creepy. And again, how come Nella didn't see it? Crazy. But yeah, her character was pretty much true to the book. Is that and they even, I even think that the appearance that they gave her is really helpful. So they really, the series really brought her character to life, and we are kind of seeing what we're getting with her. I still didn't like her. I didn't even care about her backstory or anything like that. It didn't make me like her either. It didn't help.
I just didn't like the pathetic attempts. I'm like, girl, I don't know what kind of little training y'all did in this little cult, but when Mama had her little first initiation and just come use the grease, like, girl, if you trying to coerce me into using some grease, this is not the way to do it. Like, just that, and for them to keep putting her on, assignments. I was like, baby, the first attempt was trash. She ain't convincing nobody to use a damn thing. But I just didn't, just really didn't even understand. But of course, she later gets all of these women under her wing, and just this whole aspect of the grease really threw me for a loop, y'all. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, what? What is that? Just the I guess it was, I got confused with, I felt like it got really convoluted because we do get a lot of history with Kendra and Diana and their whole thing. I was like, maybe if they told us, because if I'm not mistaken, they never mentioned like where the grease originated from, right? Did they?
No.
They did, right? I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's like a season 2 type of thing or whatever, but I wanted to know where the hell she got it.
And that's what I was thinking, like, is Kendra in her house just mixing up buckets and buckets and jars of grease? That was so weird.
Absolutely, I doubt it. But just that whole thing of, voluntarily, involuntarily, and just what this cult, I'm gonna call it, is supposed
the
to
other black girls.
The other black girls are supposed to represent, and it's just like, you are trying to pull me away from a world where you feel like I shouldn't have to conform. You should be able to, climb the ladder, be yourself, putting more black women in a place of empowerment within businesses or whatever. But it's just like, to do that with you, I would still have to conform and give up who I really am, or just be a part of this agenda and this facade to recruit other women. Like, I was like
Stepford Wives, but in the work environment.
Yeah, it was. I saw that was her experience. Her one of her notations in the book, like, she took from things like Stepford Wives and Get Out, and you can see a lot of that within the show. But I just felt like I felt like it was executed so poorly here. I wanted more. And by the time they decided to kind of like, aha, this is what it's been. This is the the mystery that's been lingering. I didn't care. I didn't care. I was like really fed up, and it was so many times where I was about to give up on this show, and I just didn't feel like the payoff at all was just worth the time that we set watching this show, honestly. Like, I was waiting for more of the I guess the whole thing with the show and the burning heart and like how much time they spent on the burning heart and you didn't use my ending and the Black Panther. I was like, I don't give a damn about I don't care about any of that. I
Yeah,
want
I
to
feel
get
like it was a
to
whole lot of unnecessary stuff. Like it, yeah, but we could have spent less time worrying about that Burning Hearts book. We could have spent a lot less time worrying about that. We could have spent less time with them networking and being at work. I did want more horror. I wanted to see some people die brutally. I mean, to see some
no,
blood.
just not even the burning heart, but a strong grip on the show was that dynamic between Diana and Kendra, and it was kind of supposed to be that same dynamic with these two here. And I was like, I thought that the payoff would be greater. I really wanted to get more into Diana and Kendra just to see. I'm like, so the if I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to be that she infiltrated her space and used her to get to Wagner. Is that what that was supposed to have been?
That's what it looked like when they showed the. And she's like, "Did you come here to bring me lunch or to
Mhm.
get close to my
Mhm.
boss?"
But
But
even with that, she had been using, the grease on her way prior to that, it looked like their whole damn friendship, her greasing her scalp and her talking about Harvard and, those kind of spaces. It's just like, she had been doing this to her friends to kind of, I guess, rid her of that self-doubt and, just the kind of energy that she was giving off as a person that, oh, I can't go to Harvard. I can't be successful. And to try to just like rip her of those things to use her to
But
infiltrate her space.
And see, that's where all the themes and stuff just kind of get like overloaded because we could have explored a lot more deeper if we were only following getting ahead in these environments. How are Black people getting ahead in these white spaces, and dealing with climbing the corporate ladder? And if we would have pushed more in that direction, but see if we're going to go a little bit into the thriller section, then we have to like tone it down when we're dealing with the politics of the work environment. Like it was a lot going on, so we couldn't get enough of one thing because they were throwing other things out there.
I don't know, Nikki. How
I
did you
went
feel like
really
that there was any payoff with this? Just like, oh, this is history repeating itself, and this is another, I guess, Black woman trying to use another Black woman to, hey, if you can convince her to grease herself, you get to keep your life and keep all the attributes that come along with it. I just didn't care for it.
Yeah, for me, there was no payoff and the execution was extremely weak. And when you talk about the central plot and the motivations of the characters, it was so ridiculous to me when we end up finding out that Hazel's whole agenda was you supposed to befriend Nella. So why was the first thing you did? Like, it was Hazel's idea to say, yeah, you need to say this. Why say that? Like, why? You were the catalyst for this. Nella wasn't going to say nothing to Colin. If your whole agenda was you supposed to befriend her and get her over to the Grease crew, why in the world? Like, it didn't make any sense. The decisions her character made when her whole objective, I'm like, I would have fired her from the Grease crew
For the
because she was
same reason
terrible.
she sat there in that restaurant with that lady, like, girl, this is our first time out having lunch and talking work. Yeah, so if you just put this grease on your scalp, girl, what the hell? Like, I don't.
Right.
It
Like,
was just.
who would just say, oh yeah, girl, okay, let me put that on my scalp. That.
You can free your mind. It ain't even just like free. This will free your mind. Aren't you tired of struggling? Always, self doubt and self worth and these white work. I'm like, girl. First of all, I just wanted to get a drink. Like,
right. Like,
this is a bit much. Like, it just felt.
But y'all think some people are, again, when they said the voluntary and the involuntary, some people are that desperate to succeed in that fashion that they will willingly sign up for it. And I will say this, as we are getting to the end of the story, that's where it differed severely from the book. They did not have the same ending.
And if you're talking about you're supposed to manipulate people, you should know how to play the person. You should know those people, like how you said, maybe you are that desperate, but you should know your mark. You should
Not
know your
even
target.
that. I was confused at the fact that I could understand the first mark or whatever. This is your very first one. By the time she got to Nella, she had done so many women at that point. So it was like we would be more, equipped to get on her good side. So I don't even know why she would open with that was more, I think, fan service for us in the audience to maybe go like, oh, we shouldn't trust her. The way that the writing went, they really wanted us to question whether or not we should trust Hazel when we never trusted her from the beginning. Like, it just didn't work. It just absolutely it didn't work. There were moments here where I was legit bored. I was
Same.
bored. I was
Like,
bored.
I thought it was some stuff I might have missed because, like, the whole note about Lee Wagner, I was like, wait, did we ever do anything with that? Did I miss it? Did we find out who left? Like, what became of the note? Like, I was spacing out. It wasn't engaging enough. It didn't hold my attention. And it was very nonsensical. Your whole pitch is you can be yourself and you don't have to, but you're giving me a hair grease to make me assimilate and conform and be palatable. And why? There was a trigger for me when Fancy's character said something about Nella. Oh, you have great ideas. You just need to be a little polished. Anytime people say the words polished or professional about your appearance, it's usually very anti-Black. Polished and professional usually means, oh yeah, your hair, yeah, we need to tone it down. We need to make it a little straight. I was like, wait, so we do have to assimilate in order to be successful? So we can't be ourselves? Wait, what's the message? What's the moral?
Well, y'all seen her when she popped out at the end with that bust down wig.
No, but I hated
like,
no.
I love your hair
I hated the fact that I knew she was going to pop out with the bust down wig. It was very predictable. I knew she was going to pop out, and I knew that she didn't use the grease, and it was just all a rouge just to get into that space. Like, I knew she was going to do that. I don't want to know any damn thing. I want to be surprised. So that wasn't the payoff that they thought it was. Her walking in there, and it's just like everybody's like, oh, I was like, I know that they have been very prominent about putting Nella's afro in our face for a reason. Like, she ain't trying to style it. She do no little,
She woke up and just left the house.
Like, the little headscarf and at bedtime was killing me. Like, girl, what that's doing? What is that doing? It ain't even silk. Like, girl, take that off.
Oh my God. Tyra, I was like, girl, baby, you drying your hair out.
But that wasn't the payoff that they thought it would be, because I already knew that. Or they really, that aha moment where it was just like this the person that she had been confiding in, like Watson, and the I love your podcast, I love what you do, I would love for you to write a book. And he kind of I was like, well, damn, did they grease his scalp? I guess they greased his scalp too.
Haircut boyfriend.
Yeah, I guess that they and they kind of, she's like, oh, like, you're a part of it too, but I thought we were gonna. It's just like, no, everybody's kind of assimilated, and it's just like, oh, Nella has nowhere to turn, and who can I trust? And I was like, this isn't the payoff or the big moment that they are thinking it is for us. I'm just really, I don't care at this point.
Would y'all have liked it better if they stuck to the book and they stuck to the original ending? That Nella actually took the grease.
Huh.
And see, that's what I was finna say. I feel like it was right in their faces. We have this whole burning heart crap they threw in there. The situation was choosing the lighter, happy ending over the dark ending. And then I'm like, wait, it was right. Why didn't we give this the dark ending? Why didn't we make it where either by choice or by force, Nella actually does end up with the grease and assimilating, and Malaika and Owen don't even know her no more? Like, why didn't we go with the dark ending? She did. And maybe I'm morbid, but I wanted a dark ending.
She did. The book, the dark ending is in here though.
Why do you think they opted not to do that? I mean, I'm thinking like maybe they're thinking that's going to elongate the options.
Yeah, I think they did that for the series. But they do another season.
The fact that I knew, like, it was never a question like, oh, did she take the grease or not? I instantly knew that she didn't, but she was going to have that weave, like, because it's just so basic. The fine line between, oh, that means she took the grease and that means she didn't. Oh, she got a buzz down. Oh, that means she took the grease. Like, that's not what that means. Her clothes look better. She got no earrings. She took the grease. Like, that's all.
They was greasing the scalp of wigs. Like, that was
I saw that. I saw that.
It's greasing the wig.
No, Diana and them greasing when she after that moment on the talk show, and she goes to kind of apologize with the wine, and she's like, I'm like, what the girl, rub some more grease on the top of that wig.
I ain't seen no scalp at all.
Every time they showed somebody's finger, they would be getting a glob of grease, but it would only be a little dot on their tip. No, baby, you just got a whole glob of grease. It was very inconsistent.
Not even that. I really hated the introduction of Diana and Kendra, more so Kendra, because they have this, which I always knew was a lie. Just them stating that, oh, she kind of offed herself, she couldn't handle the pressures or whatever, and just for us to assume that she was dead. I never knew she was dead, but the way she just popped out of nowhere, like a damn superhero, I was like, what? Like a mask, like I'm here to save you. Like what the hell is this? She's like, oh, you look good. It just got really cartoonish. I thought I was watching, one of them old ass Batman, old ass renditions of Batman. Like, aha, like they were about to. It turned into Scooby Doo. I wasn't here for that. Like how it kind of cut down on the seriousness of the show to me, and I didn't like the way that the older age Diana popped into the scene.
And it actually didn't make any sense because Kendra says Shawnee found me and told me that they were going after. How the hell did Shawnee find? You've been on the run from Richard and Diane for 35 years, but Shawnee found you? And then when she pops in with the damn taser and has time to tase every single solitary before anybody jump on her, Diane is literally facing where Kendra comes from, and you didn't see her sneak up behind them girls and the whole thing is so nonsense.
Why her and Shawnee both had the same runaway hair?
First of all, runaway wig. Let's get into Shawnee's runaway wig, because it was given Tyler Perry for like all of 2 seconds before they had her conform and take the grease, and she was being a stalker. I was like, if they don't take that goddamn wig off her head. I don't know if any of y'all watch Sisters, but I used to watch Sisters in the early season. It used to be a detective on there, a black detective with a wig on. It was giving me that. It looked like a helmet. I was like, why? Y'all couldn't even taper it? Like this, it really, really pissed me off. And we didn't even get a lot of payoff with that. Just her, kidnapping her. And I'm assuming, she greased her and that was just the end of it. But just all of that, I think somebody in the comments say, why was the boyfriend so, upset when they came into the barbershop? What did he know about Boston? Like, what was happening with that? Or hell, what was the boyfriend in this place? Like, did he not? it was just so many loose ends to me where it was like, I'm just not believing any of this. I just didn't care. I honestly didn't care. I was really hoping that, you know what, maybe the payoff for me will be them telling us where Diana got the grease from to begin with, and we didn't even get that.
She was in her house mixing up tubs of grease.
Is that what's going on in that back room when Nella was kind of looking and she was like, oh, I got something to show. She was mixing grease, Nikki. Yes. Oh, man.
She only wrote one book. That's what she been doing for 35 years.
Not even just one book. I thought it was going to turn into like, oh, maybe she didn't write the book and it was Kendra who wrote the book the whole time, or, something like that. Or, you really, undercut me, girl, to, get to, you loving up on Wagner and, you kind of left me by the wayside and stole. It was like, no, it was just them. They wrote this book together.
And that was also not a payoff. There were no real twists that you didn't see coming. Like, give me a real twist where I'm like, oh, shoot, that's what happened. We saw everything coming.
I just wanted more with Diana and Kendra. Like, we just literally go from her being greased to her packing. And it's just like, did she figure out the grease? Like, oh, she's greasy. Like, we never had her confront her. Like, I know what you're doing, or, I know what's in the product, something. It was just, she was just leaving. And I'm like, did she just leave because of the situation with Wagner or her feeling like, a used friend? Or did she figure anything out? Cause she just left. And then we see her pop up like a superhero and, try to save, all right, crush your phone. I was like, child, if we have to go on the run with this character, I'm gonna cut this shit off. Like I just didn't.
See, then y'all would have really been laughing in the book because they made like the other black girls. It was almost turning like a secret spy organization. Like it got real wild. They got a little wild with that. They was like this whole kind of like ops team, how they was moving.
That did not like have any real. I felt like it should have been more grounded in realism and maybe have those conversations of Nella confronting that, I know who I am, and how are you any better than, the Wagners or whoever of the world if I have to conform to, what you want me to do. We got a little bit of that with Hazel and them damn lemons she didn't have in her kitchen for Fancy and her so-called quitting. I was like, so is this just like a legit job? If she just wanted to quit and walk away, she could just quit and leave like that and go back to her life? Like, what? It just didn't it just, that in the whole cult vibes versus the brief moment we got into her side effects and we just kind of didn't go anywhere else with it, or even her scalp bleeding out of nowhere. I was like, we need some more. Like it I was disappointed, and if there was a season 2, I can't promise that I would engage in it.
I can promise I won't engage with it. Yeah, and like you just said with Fancy's character, it did not make any sense to me that your whole motive is you're going to force this on Black women, take Black women's choice because you know what's best for them. That sounds exactly like white people, like being like, oh, we had to take savages and we gave y'all skills. We had to make y'all slaves because y'all was just like, it was very much giving like Massa, like, oh, I know what's best for you. You're not smart enough to make your own decision. So
giving sunken place
ignoring you.
But they didn't think it was giving too much sunken place. They thought their big aha was going to be, see, look, y'all probably thought it was Wagner. It's Fancy. I'm like,
it was Wagner.
I never thought it was Wagner.
Never thought it was Wagner.
He never gave off the energy that he was really in control of anything. But I noticed, like, with the camera angles, they were like very strategic at moments to kind of make him look evil or demonic. I was like, yeah, I'm still not believing it. I never thought it was him. I just didn't know at that moment who Hazel was connected to. But I never thought that it was. But even when we got into, I think in a roundabout way, I know myself, I kind of figured out that it was Garcelle's character because of all the pushback she kept, all the ending, and it's mine, and I just need more time, or just the energy that she was giving off when the moments that Nella tried to, I guess, bring Hazel in on the project. It was just something offsetting about her character. Like you guys said, nice, nasty, or even, once again, that sis vibe. Like, sis, like, fake. You could tell that something was off with her. So it wasn't an aha moment that, oh, you think I'm in charge? Let me show. It's her. It's just like, like, no, this wasn't a moment for me. Like, everything was very predictable. And I felt like I had sat there and wasted hours that I couldn't get back.
And now I feel like I put it together really easy because, like you said, Wagner was like the red herring. Like, oh, we're going to make the audience think it's him. But when Wagner is outside of that party and we see him on the phone calling somebody, and then next thing we know, he has Diane there. I was like, yep. I'm like, that's so obvious that he make a phone call, then Diane pop up. And that's why I didn't think it made sense when Nella... Oh God! When Nella says she has to go to that damn launch party because she need one more person, that didn't make. Why the hell you need one more person? But how can you possibly think that Hazel, who you just met, is in this with Richard, but the woman he's known for 35 years? You think she don't know? But you think he did this to Kendra all those years ago? But somehow Diane isn't in on it. Come on, man. It just didn't
just with all of that, the aha moment with the Vera character, like, oh, I don't know anything, but he was, sleeping with her all those years. He always cheated on his wife with her. Like, that wasn't surprising. We been knew he was hitting that. Like, what we supposed to do with this information? It's couldn't. I just absolutely couldn't. But getting into just, I guess, the ending of the show, of course, here I thought everything was just really predictable as hell. But any of you guys, I guess, Kay, I'll start with you. Any final thoughts for the show, or any thoughts for a season 2 if there is one?
I honestly, in this instance, wish that they would have went with the ending of the book, because even if they went with the ending of the book, it would have been. She was a now conditioner, so her job was now to go out and to recruit other girls and things like that. And I think that could have made for a season 2 as well, but they kind of flipped it, and it's like, okay, we're going to go in this direction and tear the whole other Black girls whole cult organization thing down. So I feel like if they would have made her, greased, it would have pushed more in the horror direction. But now they're going in in almost a different genre direction now. So I don't know.
What about you, Nikki? Like, how do you feel about? Well, you already said like you ain't checking for no other season, but any any final thoughts on the show, Nikki? Oh, Nikki, I think you froze, girl. Let me see. Is Nikki froze? Is she there?
Yes, I think she's froze.
Oh hell. Well, no, I know for myself, like, of course, I'm not checking for season 2 of the show. If it's something I'm watching, I'm just watching it just to watch it. It's nothing I have any intent or unless it like oh, this improved so much, since the last season. It's nothing I'm desiring to look at and review or, talk about again. I feel like this show was a mixed opportunity and it was very lackluster. I feel like they could have invested a little bit more time in the execution and the writing to convey some more of those things that were in the book. Even though you said that this is better than the book, I feel like they threw the sink out with the bathwater. Like maybe we could have incorporated some more of those things and not have just completely changed it all together. But I just the show kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. We got Nikki back here.
Might have been the pacing.
Yeah, the pacing was terrible. I was bored for many episodes. And when I hit, a nod and a wink, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have to take my eyes back to watch the show because I'm just that disinterested. Like I felt like it was a chore to complete rather than something that I really, really wanted to. I can't wait to see the next episode. It was just like, I can't wait to get it over with so I can talk about it on the channel. We'd never have to discuss it again ever in life. Like that's where I was with that. But Nikki, what about your final thoughts on the show or, a season 2, if there is one? Oh, let me see. Oh, mute yourself. Let's see. Still muted, Nikki. Nikki done lost her button. You see what happened when you put that grease on your scalp? She got off camera and put some grease on her scalp.
That's what we get for talking about it. Now we ain't got no volume.
Oh boy. Well, no, I see the actual thing on her mic, so I know that she it's a button that she needs to press. But yeah, I'm hoping whatever we do get in the future, it leans more into some of those things that you have in the book versus, because I would have never thought with this show that she voluntarily decided to use the grease. That's very surprising. And it really leaves a window open to a lot of unexplored things. I feel like that ending would have been way more befitting with how much pushback Nella gave in the show to want to be herself and not use the grease. So for her to see value in it later and decide to use it and they convince her, that would have been really great.
Because see, now it's like it got more it's more political now because she's made a conscious choice to not take it, and now we're going to tear down the organization versus it would have gotten darker if she went on ahead and took it. Now you're one of these mindless people who are also being controlled, and now you're trying to bring more people into now you're recruiting more people into this foolishness. I think we could have gotten a lot darker with that if having a season 2 based on the original ending.
So in the book altogether, there was actually a book that they're trying to release that they feel like, so there was a book. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this off, you guys. I don't know if Nikki will be joining us again, but regardless, you guys have been absolutely amazing. Let me look at some of these comments real quick before we get out of here. Thank you so much, K Blythe. Like you've been great. Let's see. Please come back, Nikki. We need you. Yes, Nikki has been like really, really great. Poor Nikki. Let's see. Also, what was in that grease? Yeah, they didn't tell us what was in the grease or where the grease originated from. I'm thinking if they do get greenlit for another season, maybe those are. Is that told to us in the book?
No, they just kind of described it as what it does, and that there's different variations of it.
Okay. Let me see. Nikki's here. Let me see, girl.
Yes, sorry.
So, Nikki, any final thoughts on the show as far as getting into a season 2? Just to close off your thoughts. I want to know how you feel about it.
I wish I could have heard what y'all just said. But final thoughts. I will not be here for season 2. I wish the season could have ended a lot stronger. I feel like I can deal with maybe a lackluster go of things if I can get a really good third act. Like, leave me with a good taste in my mouth. And the way it closes out just didn't make any sense to me. And it felt very sloppy. We have Nella going to this launch party by herself, which made no sense. You can logically have your boyfriend come. I mean, it's supposed to be a big moment for you, but she goes by herself with the rationale of, oh, I need to get one more person. But then she refuses to ask Vera any questions because she doesn't know who she can trust, because they want to give us this surprise of Vera saying, oh, they had a relationship, Richard and Diane. That just didn't make any sense with how they went about that. So I feel like it closed out very sloppy. And like I said, I wanted a more darker ending. So yeah, it just didn't work for me overall. I would not sit through a season 2. The season 1 gave me nothing. So I wouldn't sit through a season 2.
Well, that's pretty much what we said. I pretty much discussed them maybe ending off with Nella actually taking that grease instead of her, pretending to maybe, give us more of a like, oh, because that would have been unexpected for me. I knew her ass wasn't going to take the grease.
Right.
Lord. But you guys have just been absolutely great. I am going to give you guys individually the screen once again, just to tell the people where to find you and, tell them to come subscribe to your channel and, listen to the podcast and all that good stuff. Kay, I'm going to, let you go first since Nikki went first last time. Let me take us off of here. Hold on, let me get this here because this needs to be in my stuff here. Let me take this down. There we go. Just so I can have that in my arsenal. I'm not prepared, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me take
Yes, again, I co-host the podcast Horror and Hooch, and you can find us on YouTube at The Fifth Wall. Subscribe to The Fifth Wall on YouTube, where you can find our horror podcast, movie reviews, TV show reviews, breakdowns, discussions, interviews, all of that. It is Halloween season, and we will be celebrating from today through the rest of October. Subscribe to The Fifth Wall on YouTube.
Thank you, Tyra, for having me on. And if you guys like what I had to say here, then you can check me out at King Nikki TV. I always cover a variety of things. So if you are into that, right now I'm covering The Changeling. I'm covering the Walking Dead spinoff Daryl Dixon. I'm covering Power, different types of movies. I have a little bit of everything depending on what your taste is. It's something for you on my channel. And don't give me no grease, but I will take a scalp massage and you will be on my good side. So subscribe, check out my channel. Thank you so much.
Not don't give me no grease. Once again, you guys, that's The Fifth Wall. Here is the link here. I'm going to drop it, and I just dropped Nikki's as well, so you guys can go and check these ladies out and show your support. Like this has been great. This has been like actually really good because I didn't know how we were going to do this. There was so much on my mind, but I didn't want us to be here forever. So this was awesome. This was absolutely awesome. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Once again, both of their links are in the chat, so you can go and take your butts over there and subscribe and engage and support and all of that good stuff. But y'all already know what it is. We're trying to get to 30K, y'all. We are trying to get to 30K before the year is out. So, of course, there is always a plethora of content on the channel for you guys to engage in and check out, and share with somebody to let them know to come and check it out. But I am looking forward to all of the good things that we have coming out. And I believe that Kay, as well as the co-host of her podcast, will be joining me for episode 5 of The Changeling, right?
And I am also reading that one as well.
No, currently reading, which is great, which I love.
Currently reading.
You can add a little bit more nuance with the the knowledge from the book, so that's going to be awesome. So I look forward to that. And of course, Nikki, we gonna collaborate again, because shall we? this was not the moment, the thing to, you know, collaborate on, but I was really blessed to have you guys here. And I just want to say thank you guys so much, as well as you guys for all of the, you know, commentary, the super chats, the comments, all that good stuff. Remember to like down below, as well as leave a comment down there. Let me see what y'all can leave. Like leave a brown heart for, you know, black strong, you know, hey sis in the workplace. Leave a brown heart down there in the comments if you have, you know, a good relationship, good standing with your workplace environment. If you don't, child, leave a white one. But thank you guys so much for watching. We will definitely see you ladies again. You guys don't go
Thank
anywhere.
you guys. This was
Thank
so
you.
fun. I'm glad I got a chance to talk about this book and show with you guys. This was so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We would definitely see you guys next time. Good night.